who is here on. Yes. And the title of the speech is Who Am I? Once again, the title of the speech is Who Am I? Let's give a big hand to one of our new members here in Queen City Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Ana Luella Navarroza. She will be with us online.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This icebreaker speech assignment has had me asking myself again with a question that I had had some difficulty answering when I was just a new graduate and looking for a job. And when I was already in a job and looking for another one, and every time I tried to apply to a new one, I never expected I would find myself again confronted with the same question, as I had been told that this icebreaker speech technically would be like an introduction of myself to everybody in this room and to everyone listening in via Zoom. How am I supposed to address the tell me about yourself when a simple who am I gets me tongue-tied every time? Needless to say, I should be at the very least acquainted with myself so that I can start telling you the kind of person that I am, to which dilemma has led me to introspection. After all these years, I still can't answer that question about myself right off the bat. I mean, I had to spend a bit of thinking just to be able to answer that innocuous question of who am I? That is how stranger I am to my own self. What I'm about to tell you next is what I found out about myself after I went on an introspective quest of understanding who I am. I am someone who is shaped by her experiences. That I can conclude now with certainty. I am no longer the person who I thought I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I am definitely not going to be the same person 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from where I think I am now. When I was just a fresh graduate and looking for a job, I always screwed up on the tell me about yourself part because I didn't have anything profound to tell to the HR interviewer about myself that is not already in my resume. 15 years ago, I thought I knew everything except myself. When I was already working, it didn't take long for me to realize that I didn't like the corporate world that much. I felt like something was amiss, yet I didn't know what. The clincher was when I saw a pregnant woman on her way up to the upper floors for a night shift of work. I can't imagine myself limping my way towards work with a big belly at an ungodly hour of the night. I said, if I don't do something and find anything to replace this job, I'm going to end up just like that pregnant woman. So I took a leap of faith and passed the real estate broker's board exam. I haven't looked back at the corporate world since then. 10 years ago, I thought I was someone trying to find her place in the sun. Now, when I became a real estate broker practitioner, I could choose when and where to work. I was so happy because I thought I finally had the reins to my life. I even went further to enroll myself in law school. Then pandemic hit, and a few months into the lockdown, I got pregnant, like in all the times that I could be pregnant. Reluctantly, I had to give up law school, and with my time tied up so much to baby care, I hardly have time to practice real estate these days. 5 years ago, I thought I had it all planned out. My life today, as it had been before, has its highs and lows. Some days are good, other days are just blah. With this icebreaker speech assignment, I get to look back at the days of my life with a new set of eyes, with more kindness, maturity, understanding, forgiveness, and patience for the things I could have done better and failed to do. Based on the accounts of challenges and redirections in my life, I learned that the path to self-discovery is not linear. You are allowed to pivot, change, and adapt just as I had when these changes happened without warning in my life. Life has a way of throwing us off course. The only way for us to survive in the uncertainties is to be adaptable to these changes and surprises in sudden redirection. There is power in knowing who you are. but there is wisdom in understanding who you are. The knowing and the understanding parts do not happen overnight, at least according to my life experiences. It is a lifetime of discovery, missteps, and learning. But once you have a pretty good idea of who you are, you can make better choices in life. You only choose opportunities and make decisions that resonate with your core values, faith, and what truly makes your heart sing. When your identity is as clear as day, you will have goals that are aligned with who you really are. I have also become a person who has freed herself of the what ifs and instead have resolved to let things be rather than stress myself of where I should be and what I should be right now. There's no point in putting your energy to where you are not. So who am I really? I'm just someone who lets her experiences guide her to her true self. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Anna. Thank you so much for sharing with us that indeed experiences shape us, and that the path to this self-discovery is not linear. There are a lot of bumps and humps and some maybe detours along the way, with the experiences, but we need to be adaptable to these changes. And I think when we get to learn from these missteps or from these mistakes, I think we just get to learn and grow, and it puts a smile on our face because we are growing from these experiences. And we are very much excited for you, Toastmaster Anna, to get to know more also in your future speeches, in your journey to your self-discovery. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us online. And we hope to see you on site when you feel better and when you're ready to visit us on site. All right. For our next prepared speaker for tonight, she is taking the path in Pathways Team Collaboration, and this is Project 1, Level 2, which has the purpose to learn or review the basic methods of writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The time duration is allotted is 5 to 7 minutes, and the speech title is Watch Our Time. All right, but before she gets on stage, allow me to share the things that puts a smile on her face in recent times. Food by TM Joan. But she yes, but she actually crashed out something here, guitar. Oh, that's also nice. Maybe she's a musician. All right, friends and losing my dignity. This is quite interesting, but let's give her the stage now. Please give a big hand to Toastmaster Zaira.
Yes, I lose my dignity today, so it really made me smile. So for everyone who is here today, those who have watches, do you have those because you only wear it as an accessory, or do you want to know the time, or you wear it because you value time? Do we value time? Some say that time is subjective. In a science sense, it is subjective according to Einstein's theory because time passes differently depending on factors like gravity and speed. But then we have emotions. When we are happy, excited, joyful, and we think of time as fast. Why is time so fast when we're happy? Why? But I was having fun. Why does time fly so fast? Then, when we are sad, nervous, anxious, we think of time as slow. It's so boring here. Why is time so slow? When I was standing right in front of the people, not knowing what to say, not knowing what to think, I thought of time as slow. Standing here, not being able to say anything, even if it is just a 1 minute mark, I thought that it was 1 hour. And maybe some of you, those who have loved life, may experience the feeling that the world is revolving slowly when you look at the love of your life. Wow! Sana all, Charles. I haven't experienced that yet. So, this just means that our emotions and feelings can influence our perception of time. Thus, everyone's perception of time is unique, right? I used to love to have a power of time. I think it's pretty convenient to have a power of time. Now, going to the future to see what you'll be, and then going to the past to fix my mistakes and such. Wow, how convenient. But then I started to think through things. If everyone was given a chance to be able to control their time, then all of us wouldn't be here today, as each person's experience of time is unique. So if everyone could control time, some may remain in their childhood, wanting to cherish their moments, the happiness before everything. Some may be adults wanting to have more opportunities than the child doesn't have. The thing is, all of us won't probably see each other because we're on a different wavelength with each other. That would mean that we'll be alone as we control the time in our world. I mean, time is a universal concept that binds us all together. And without that, I think it would be a disaster. But the thing is, we can't control time. But why do we sometimes want to control time? We want time to be fast when we're bored. We want time to be slow when we're happy. But again, we can't control time. So why don't we just come into terms that we can't control time? Time is naturally flowing. It doesn't stop for anyone. It doesn't move fast forwards. It doesn't move backwards. It just flows. So instead of trying to control time, why don't we just value it? It reminds me of a comparison from the past and the present me. Back then, I was so excited and happy whenever we went to the beach. Always the one who goes first to the waters because, of course, I love water before. But now it is just not the same anymore, which made me think, was it time that took away the feelings from me? But then I remember time is constant, and time sometimes takes something away from us. Time can take away a person, a relationship, a friendship. Time can take away our pain. As they said, time heals. Time can take away our ability to feel things. You see, time is such a valuable thing in our human's life, but then we take it for granted. Perhaps the change in my feelings is a reminder that nothing lasts forever, and that we should cherish the moments we have while they last. Time didn't take away my feelings, maybe. It only reminded me that life is precious and that we should appreciate every moment that we have, no matter how fleeting it may be. Cherish the time, your time, live in a moment, and maybe you'll find the glimmer in our life. As you see, guys, we often take time for granted. Instead of focusing on how it would be great to control time, let's focus on valuing and enjoying the time that we have. Let's take the time to cherish happy moments, to slow down and be mindful, and to make most of the opportunities that we have before us. So this speech is pretty ironic considering that I made this speech at 3 a.m. But anyways, wait, wanting time to go slow, but that's all value time, guys. And I hope you have a great day today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Zaira, for sharing with us, the value of time and how unique it actually could be because it's subjective and you really backed it up with Einstein's theory that time can actually be sort of subjective and affected with our feelings and emotions. So that was actually really quite interesting. But to me, what was actually quite is interesting when with what she shared was time heals. So time, anong petsa na?
Healing pa rin.
Healing pa rin? Ano na ba time? Anong petsa na? Bilisan mo. Charot. Thank you once again for that, Toastmaster Zai. And yes, let's all appreciate every moment because we cannot control the time that we have in this world. All right, beautiful speech. Moving on to our third prepared speaker for tonight. She will actually be sharing her speech online, and I hope she's ready. Her path is the leadership development path, and she is on level 1 project 4.1, which is evaluation and feedback. And the speech objective is to practice applying speech evaluation feedback, or the feedback that she got from the previous speech, and later on serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. Time allotted for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Wesley Barcoma, our Vice President Education, with the title of her speech, The Powerful Weapon. Is she ready? All right. She actually didn't PM me or private message me the 3 things that made her happy in recent times. All right, Toastmaster Miko will share it. So I will share it after na lang, Toastmaster Christine. So again, with the title of her speech, The Powerful Weapon, let's welcome Toastmaster Christine Merida.
Weapon, a thing designed or used for inflicting bodily harm or physical damage. Or it can be used in defending oneself in a conflict or contest. Many Marvel superheroes and villains acquire their abilities through mutations or scientific research. Many also increase or acquire their abilities through the use of weaponry. Additionally, a lot of these weapons truly become a part of who the character is. Like, for example, Captain America's shield or the Infinity Gauntlet of Thanos. We also have Thor's hammer, the Mjolnir. We have Wolverine's claw, Muramasa blade, the ultimate nullifier, and a lot more. But don't you know that we, yes, I'm talking about you and me, though we are not Marvel superheroes, we have a powerful weapon within us. Fellow Royals, Toastmasters, friends, and lovely guests, good evening. Tonight, let us discover what our powerful weapon is and how to use this weapon. What do you think this weapon is? Any guesses? Okay, I have mental telepathy right now. Anyway, jokes. Kidding aside, it's a 6 letter word, starts with letter T and ends with letter E. Tongue. Dila in Cebuano or Tagalog. You might have questions right now. Why is the tongue this small part of the body, our powerful weapon? Before I answer that, let me give you 3 interesting facts about the human tongue. Number 1, the human tongue is made up of 8 muscles. The tongue is not the strongest muscle in the body, but it is one of the most flexible. That is why it is possible to use it all day long without it ever becoming fatigued. That is why even if you eat or talk all day, you won't feel your tongue fatigued. Interesting. Number 2, the color of a person's tongue tells a story. The color of a person's tongue can be an indication of a serious health issue. It is pink when healthy, but allergies and infections can change its color to red. A blistered tongue might be a sign of a negative reaction to a certain allergy and blood pressure medications, while fungal infections can lead to white patches all over the tongue. Number 3, and last fun fact, there are taste buds all over the tongue. All parts of a person's tongue are capable of tasting a wide range of things. There are charts that divide the tongue into different areas that only taste sweet, sour, salty, and bitter tastes. But that is only done for the sake of simplicity. In reality, every part of the tongue is capable of detecting different tastes. It contains anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 taste buds. Some die every couple of weeks, but they are replaced with new ones eventually. So these amusing facts, by the way, are brought to you by ChatGPT. So you can Google it if you have trust issues with ChatGPT. Another kidding aside, seriously speaking, going back to the question earlier, why is the tongue our powerful weapon? Quoting from the Bible verse in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. You see, verbal attacks cannot break bones. However, words can bring out either positive or negative responses. A sword can cut the body, but a tongue can wound the soul. It can build up or it can tear apart. It can construct or destruct. Our tongue can be used as a good weapon or a bad weapon, like the villains in the Marvel movies. Now, let me read another Bible verse in James chapter 3, verses 3 to 5, and jump to verses 9 to 10. When we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. Verse 9, with the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse human beings who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers and sisters, this should not be. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, what are we going to do to make this tongue a good weapon? Here are two things that I think can help us make this tongue a good weapon, and some wisdom from the Bible. Number 1, let's fill our hearts and minds with good things. Our society is obsessed with diets and what goes into our mouths, which is good, but maybe it's also time to consider what is coming out of our mouths. As what is said in Matthew chapter 12, verses 34 to 35, for the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in him. And an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in him. Toastmasters and friends, samurai warriors invest years in intensive training to become masters and experts with their weapon. However, only few or no one discusses how to master and manage our tongues. Our ability to control our tongue shows our level of maturity. The influence of our tongue may not only be hurting ourselves. When we don't control our tongue, it can hurt other people. Apostle wrote, Apostle Paul wrote, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. In other words, what Apostle Paul is saying is that what we say affects the hearers. So let's use discretion about what comes out of our mouth, filter our thoughts, and choose to say only the words that have the power to build up and have a positive effect when we say them. Remember, the words that come out of our mouths reflect what is in our hearts. So, in order to control our tongue, we must first learn to control our thoughts. And number 2, let us practice speaking honestly but lovingly. As what is said in Proverbs chapter 15, 1 to 4, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words makes tempers flare. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness. Gentle words are a tree of life. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. To sum it up, Toastmasters and friends, with great powerful weapon comes with a great responsibility. So, how will you use your tongue? Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Hey, thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Christine, for sharing with us, the power of our tongue, or more specifically, the power of our words. And if you were to ask me, how will I use my tongue? I will actually use it later for dinner. I haven't had dinner yet. Oh yeah, but the Jollibee is here, so good for us on-site people. But I hope you guys online, you can join us to, also eat dinner, and we have a chat, and we can also eat dinner together. But yes, again, for the highlights of Toastmaster Christine's speech, we should learn to build up people rather than breaking down people with our words. But let's always remember, before we speak, before we interact with others, before we build up others, first we should do what should we do first before we speak? We should brush our teeth. So that we could we could speak. Yeah, we should gargle, so we could be pleasant when we talk, and we could have a very bright white teeth when we smile. O di ba, pasok sa theme. All right. Well, I promise that I will read Toastmaster Christine's three highlights or things that made her smile. Maybe from our tech master, with the help of our tech master, maybe we can share it on our screen.
Oh no, it's done. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, there. So she shared my team, QCTM, Queen City Toastmasters, and my family. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Christine. So let's continue, guys, to control our thoughts and speak honestly. Again, using our tongue to build people up instead of breaking them down. Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Christine. Last but not the least on our roster of speakers for tonight is someone who is taking the path dynamic leadership, and he is taking on the project Understanding Your Leadership Style. With a speech objective, the purpose is to identify your primarily leadership style or styles. The time allotted for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the assigned evaluator is Area Director from Division I, Toastmaster June Pinili. With the title of the speech, I Lead. Let us give a big hand to Toastmaster and past President Lendon Heraldizo.
One fine afternoon, I heard my mother telling her friends, "Ay ka na si Rendon, bata pa lang na. Lider-lideron na jud na siya." I did not know if she said that with pride or shame. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rendon Heraldizo, the lider-lideron. I come here with more than 20 years of combined leadership experience under my belt. From a servant leader in the church to being a corporate leader at work, and my most favorite, a husband and a parent at home. Leadership for me is a privilege that is open to all, but not for all. But for the ones who decide to journey on the path of leadership, they will enjoy the many opportunities that they will experience along the way. Tonight, I will share with you these opportunities I continue to enjoy as a leader. The famous leadership guru, John Maxwell, was asked to define leadership. And very simply, he said this: leadership is influence. This is the first opportunity I discovered a long time ago. As a leader, I carry the responsibility to be a good influence to people. I influence others to think, act, and say or speak like I do. But the ultimate goal of my leadership is for them to think, act, and speak way better than I do. One of my great BPO mentors said this in one of our coaching sessions. To be an effective leader, you must learn how to love. That is the second opportunity I unlocked in leadership. I realized that I must love people because if I don't and I won't, then I will never become successful in this journey. Is it easy to love everyone? It's not at all. But it becomes doable to me because I always think that by default, people are good. There is goodness in everyone, and that makes everybody lovable. That great BPO mentor continued by saying that if you don't love and you cannot teach yourself to love, you might as well reassess your career goals because maybe leadership is not for you. The other opportunity my leadership journey has given me that I consider highly impactful is the opportunity to become an example. Have you heard of the phrase leadership by example? No, not yet? Now you heard it. I love that. That concept has changed me tremendously. It is in leading by example that I found the desire for excellence. At home, I practice excellence too. I ensure that I am not getting derailed. I always seek feedback from my wife and my kids. We sit in meaningful conversations while I solicit my start, stop, continue. What are the things they want me to start, stop, continue doing? I am intentional in leading my family by example. Well, whether at home or anywhere, I believe that everybody deserves to be led well. Everybody deserves to experience the glimmer. The fourth opportunity is the opportunity for advancement. I'm not talking a lot about my personal advancement, but for the people I lead. Have you heard of leaders say that the higher you go up to the leadership ladder, it gets lonelier? I refute that. My experience tells me that as I bring people forward to advance, we are moving forward together. I have never been lonely because people move to advance with me. Trust me, it's merrier up there. It becomes easier for me to rally my team to action because I invest a lot in their advancement. They know I care about their promotions more than my own. Now we're down to the last, the opportunity to develop. This is for me what makes leadership a life-changing process. It is in leadership journey where I witnessed people's growth. I see my kids, Isa and Enoch, becoming better versions of their mama and papa. In the process, my wife, Percy, and I have also become better at leading our family. In the workplace, I get amazed at how people change from dreamers to achievers and how they build the confidence to now pay the opportunities of leadership forward to their peers. Wow, this is just one of the sweetest rewards in leadership. I lead. I have always lived by that mantra. That's my core. Last night, I was asked to speak to newly promoted leaders in the company. At the end of my sharing, one leader asked this question: do you also get tired? And what do you do when you get tired? My response: just like any superhero, leaders get tired too. But every time I get tired and my leader's energy gets depleted, I always go back to my why. Why did I choose to be a leader in the first place? And my why is clear. I lead because of the opportunities to influence, to love, to be a good example, to lead people to advancement, and to develop them. I guess my mother was right all this time. Lider-lideron jud na si Rendo. And I am convinced that she tells people that with pride, not shame. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lideron. Toastmaster Rendon Heraldizo. Wow. It's so nice to hear from you once again. And like what I've said earlier, he is our past president and personally my president when I was also new and when I was the vice president education of this club. And it was so wonderful to be able to witness also and have share that journey with him be under his wonderful leadership and guidance. So thank you for that, Mr. Lideron. You will have that title for this club. And before I forget, you also shared with us the three things that puts a smile on your face, and I believe this is not just for today, but for your life so far. That is his family, the blessings and my blessings in his perspective, and my life in his words. So thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Rendon. And let's just highlight what he said once again. I lead. That for him, leadership is influence, leadership is love, being an example, helping people advance and develop. And I think one thing that also really struck me the most with his speech was you are an effective leader when the people that you're working with actually grow and actually become better versions of you or the leader himself or herself. And I think that's a very wonderful manifestation, whether it's in the workplace or whether it's in Toastmasters or in any kind of group, even in the family, just like what he said, like what he has now. So I think that's a very, very good message about leadership. And thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Rendon, for sharing. All right. We are actually done with our prepared speeches, and I was informed that we will have a quick break, a 5-minute break, because we will be having dinner here. And of course, we will have a restroom break as well. So for our online guests, please feel free as well to have a restroom break, to polish your evaluation notes, to grab a cup of coffee, and we will see you once again in 5 minutes. So Madam Timer, please let us know if the 5 minutes is up. And maybe for our tech master, maybe we can have some YouTube music if we can, as we have our dinner. And we'll see you again in 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone. Ako. Ay, magawas?
Timing. Perfect. Overtime. So 7:30. So 9:30. 7:36. Overtime na 6 seconds. Pero disqualified.
Disqualified.
Kung saan pala akong nag-click ko eh. Kaya daw. Nasa Magdas na. Yung business is here. The restaurant wala. Pero dito wala ko to. I want to eat first. Thank you for Christian music.
Ito pang spa. You don't only smell it, you hear it. Say the word and there is light. Say the word and dead bones rise. Spirit started and rings on your voice. For your word never returns void. Written in a billion skies, speaking to this heart of mine. All that I am with all creation, hanging on every word that you've spoken. It will not be shaken, clinging for life to all your promise, hanging on every word that you say. It will remain. And my soul will hang on every word you say. Word made flesh, you walk in grace. Promise kept through cross and grave. Over words of stone you spelled out love. And when you say it is done, it is done. Written in a billion skies, speaking to this heart of mine. All that I am with all creation, hanging up every word that you've spoken. It will not be shaken, clinging for life to all your promise, hanging up every word that you've written in a billion skies, speaking to this heart of mine. All that I am with all creation, hanging up every word that you've spoken. It will not be shaken, clinging for life to all your promise, hanging up every word that you say. It will remain. My soul will hang on every word that you say. 'Cause I know your word will never ever fail. And my soul will hang on every word you say.
Hello to our online friends. We're gonna have a bit of an extension for our dinner here. So we're gonna extend by another 4 minutes, and then I'll start the general evaluation so that we can have a working dinner, a listening dinner. Ay, di, nag-online ko. Nag-online ko.
Look what you've done. How could you fall so far? You should be ashamed of yourself. So I was ashamed of myself. The lies I believed, They got some roots, they run deep. I let them take a hold of my life. I let them take control of my life. Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all the roots up. I feel you healing all my wounds up. All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. Suddenly all the shame is gone. I thought I was too broken, now I see you were breaking new ground inside of me. Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all my roots up. I feel you healing all my wounds up. All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. Oh, the enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done. On the cross, in a grave, with a stone rolled away. All my debt, it was paid. Look what you've done. In my heart, in my mind, in my soul, in my life. With my hands lifted high, I'm singing. Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. Oh, the enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, look what you've done.
Sige, sige, sorry. Sorry.
Wala po yung mga 8-7 seconds. All right. Good evening once again, online and on-site friends and fellow Toastmasters. Our 10-minute break is done. But of course, for our online on-site guests, please feel free to indulge yourself in the chicken and do your best to make me jealous. Because I'm here, right here. I'm already here in front. All right. Again, we've already finished the educational portion of our meeting, and we're actually now moving to the evaluation portion. And just before we get to that evaluation portion, for the benefit of our guests, we actually omitted what we call the table topics portion of a Toastmasters meeting. And this session, or that session actually, is all about impromptu speaking. And that's also another skill that we practice in Toastmasters to sharpen our listening skills, to think on our feet, and to answer impromptu or on the spot with whatever question or with whatever quote or random topics are thrown at our way. So for our guests, that only means that you need to visit us again in our regular meetings so you could witness that and maybe also participate, because you are definitely welcome to participate in that future table topic session. But for now, we are now moving to our evaluation portion. So to lead that portion, let's welcome our president, Toastmaster Miko Enario. A big hand, please.
Thank you. Right, once again, good evening to everyone. Please feel free to focus on your chicken while we are doing our working dinner. So my role as the general evaluator for the benefit of our first-time guests, you can see on your copies of the program, well, you can see it if you're not looking at your chicken. We have 4 parts to our program this evening. There are the preliminaries at the very start, the education portion, which we just concluded, and the evaluation portion where we're just starting now, and the business portion later. The point of the evaluation portion is that every part of a Toastmasters meeting is given feedback. So what does that mean? Everything in the preliminaries, if there's something that needs to be pointed out, we will give feedback to that. Similar to the word of the night or the heart souls connection. These are all under the jurisdiction of the general evaluator, as well as the Toastmaster of the evening. So to start off, I'm going to omit the rest of the parts of the preliminaries except for the parts where we need to, improve just a little bit. So let's move to our acknowledgement of guests. So for acknowledgement of guests, something that we always need to remember when it's your turn to acknowledge our guests, especially when they're a visiting Toastmaster, it's important for us to take note of which club they are from and any position that they're currently holding. Because when we have Toastmasters guests, we also introduce them in a hierarchy. So that means that all of the existing officers are always first, depending on the rank, district towards the club level, and then the auxiliary officers like assistant treasurer, assistant VP ed, and then we also need to introduce the past officers. So what does that mean? It means that if they were a past president, for example, but they're not a current president, or it's very important for past district directors because they used to be national presidents. So they would also be introduced within that same hierarchy. So that's something to take note for our acknowledgement of guests. Next, for our declaration of session hall, I think there was a moment where someone said to come here. So it's not to come here on the podium. It's to acknowledge, to come onto the stage or the lectern or to whatever you would call it, but maybe it's a bit informal to say to come here. All right, the rest of our preliminaries are very much in order. I would like to comment, however, for the Toastmasters promise, we could have all read that it's on the back of our program. I think we all universally miss that. So if time is a universal constant, we all miss the fact that the Toastmasters promise is on the back of our program. So that's another point of improvement. Once again, thank you to Toastmaster Wesley, who was very quick to share the online copy of our program. All right. So once again, our word of the night, Toastmaster Isabella was maybe feeling a bit unwell this evening. We also give a big kudos to Toastmaster John for introducing glimmers, a new word. Maybe for the Gen Z, it's more familiar. I thought we're talking about glitters. Is it a different word? So kudos to Toastmaster John for that, as well as for the Heart Souls connection. It's also very light and it's also a bit quicker because usually that's the part of the program where we would go over time. So kudos as well to Toastmaster John. But I would comment, however, for the Heart Souls connection, I really do appreciate the time that we're able to talk with one another. I think because we've been so creative the past couple of meetings, we've missed the regular kind of Heart Souls connection. But it's always good to just spend that opportunity to meet new people and to ask that special word, because I think we need to look at what's really the root reason that we have the Heart Souls connection. It's not only to feel welcome, but it's also to meet new people, to expand our network. All right. So that's it for our preliminaries and the start of our education portion. As your general evaluator, there are people that will assist me along the way. That means that I'm not going to evaluate everything myself. So now we're going to move on to our other evaluators, our designated speech evaluators. So to evaluate first Toastmaster Anna's icebreaker speech. Let's all put our hands together for past area director, past president, Toastmaster Joan Maris Lossos.
Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests. Good evening, Toastmaster Anna. Toastmaster Anna, congratulations on your icebreaker speech. It is always my pleasure to watch and hear an icebreaker speech of a new club member. And as your speech evaluator, I hope that I can help you know yourself more by providing you what I think are the strengths or good points in your delivery. So first, Toastmaster Anna, I love how you shared the process, how you reflected on how you would answer the question, who am I? So who am I? Or yeah, introduce yourself. So I think you are introspective. Second, I love the nugget of wisdom that you have mentioned or scattered in your speech. Some examples are, yeah, I am someone shaped by my experiences, or the path to self-discovery is not linear, and then there's power in knowing yourself and wisdom in knowing who you are. And yeah, those are very insightful. And third, I love that you achieved the purpose of the project by introducing yourself to us. And what's surprising and I find awesome in your introduction is that you answered the question by not also answering the question of who you are. So that's good. So when you answer the question who you are or who am I, it is not definitive, because as you said, you are evolving. So that's very interesting. Now, Toastmaster Anna, for you to evolve and be better, allow me to make suggestions that you may opt to apply in your next speech. Actually, there are two. First, it would be good if you will have more examples of your experiences. I noticed that in the later part of your speech, there were no examples or experiences shared. It would be nice if, for example, in the part of you said that knowing yourself will lead you to be making better decisions. So I hope you will provide an example on how that helped, how knowing yourself led you to make better decisions. And also in the what ifs part, so it would be also good if you provided us a what if in your life. Then second, in your next speeches, I would really recommend that you be clear on your purpose. So we will learn, or maybe in Toastmasters, the purpose of our speech could either be to inform, to entertain, or to persuade. So in the first part of your speech, it is as if you are telling us about yourself, which is to inform. But on the latter part, you are more on the persuading or encouraging us to know ourselves. But I know that is something that you will learn as you go along. So Toastmasters, Anna, congratulations. I hope your Toastmasters experience, especially with the awesome Queen City Toastmasters Club, make you evolve to be good communicator, leader, and overall a better person. So knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Toastmaster Anna, welcome to Queen City Toastmasters. And I know you will say hi to yourself, who will appear every now and then starting tonight. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joan, and congratulations, Toastmaster Anna. The icebreaker is one of the most important speeches that any of us can deliver, because there's only ever really going to be one. You might deliver it again, puhon, when you become a more advanced Toastmaster, but it's never really going to be like the very first icebreaker that you did. Once again, congratulations to you, Toastmaster Anna. And yes, thank you, Miss Joan. Welcome to Queen City Toastmasters Club. Moving on to our second speaker. Moving on to our second speaker, who's going to be evaluated by, oh, surprise, yours truly. So let's give me a round of applause, I guess. Today, time. Time is something which we often feel is fleeting. And I think it was very beautifully put in Toastmaster Zaira's speech. Toastmaster Zai, you delivered us a speech about time. Allow me to use time in the evaluation. But because time is also always confusing and timey-wimey, let me start from the back moving forward. Starting with E. I think you're really able to engage your audience, especially at the start of your speech. You asked us something very simple. When you have a watch, is it just an accessory or is it for you to tell the time? And I think that these kinds of starts are a really good way to ease someone into your speech because it's not an overbearing question, but it's something that really asks people to, I don't know, look at the wrist to actually see if they even have, if they're even wearing a watch and they realize whether it was actually an accessory or not. Because if it's an accessory, I know some of your watches, they don't even have batteries anymore, but you still wear them. I think this was also very apparent in a lot of the moments in your speech. You have these, the choice of words is also very engaging because it's very beautiful. Like when you're telling us that time would heal all wounds, like that usual quote. Or you're also telling us that time is a universal constant that brings us all together because time is equal for everyone. Everyone has 24 hours in the day. If I would recommend something for you, Toastmasters, let's move to the M. I think for our movement, we can improve our movements a little bit. We noticed that some moments in your speech, you started to slouch here on the lectern. So usually this is something which is a bit informal, but I know that we are used to meeting online, for example. But usually when we're at the podium, it's recommended for us to use our hands. And if you're already used to using your hands, start using the rest of the stage. So this is going to help you paint a clearer picture of the message that you're trying to tell to your audience. I think that after the movement, not only just staying here in the box of the podium, using the rest of the stage is a really good opportunity to bring more openness into your speech. One other thing is I would like maybe it's to challenge you, Toastmaster Zaira, that we could insert some moments to allow people to imagine a little bit more. I loved how you inserted certain moments and examples, personal examples, like when you were rushing to the beach, that you were trying to enjoy it, but because you were trying to rush into it, you didn't enjoy it as much. Maybe we could have done two things. First, we could spend a little bit more time with those personal examples. And second, we could also pass that question off to our audience. What are those experiences that you could have experienced a bit better? But overall, Toastmaster Zaira, the thing that always stands out from the two speeches that you've delivered is that it's tea. It's always very thoughtful and thought-provoking. This is something that I really admire from these, especially these new royals, that all of their speeches are always trying to hit us somewhere where it hurts. Sometimes when we're all together in the working world, we forget where we came from, and we need to be reminded about these things, about these visions that we've had, when we were younger. So thank you, Toastmaster Zaira, for always giving us very thought-provoking speeches. And let's give Toastmaster Zaira a round of applause. And I'll pass back to me. Aha. Yes. Let's move on now to the evaluation of Toastmaster Christine's speech, which is going to be done with us online. So I'd like to direct everyone's attention to our online participants. And let's all give a round of applause to our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Wesley. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Club President Miko Inario. How will you use your weapon? And if you have that powerful weapon, how will you wield it? Friends, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, tonight, Toastmaster Christine showed us how to do that by, number one, using signposting and hand gestures. Toastmaster Christine, you did exactly guide the audience in following through the main ideas or the main points of your message. When you did this, when you said, let me share with you 3 things or interesting facts about the tongue, you also did this when you said, from the heart to the mind. That's a good use of signposting and again, hand gestures to guide the audience to follow you in your speech and message. Second strength that I appreciate in your speech delivery is the use of humor. From time to time, there were moments wherein you allowed the audience to relax and to laugh. And in doing that, you allow the audience to lean in to your message. They lowered their prejudice or bias towards your message and you as a speaker, and instead they leaned in because you allow them to laugh. Now, if there is some suggestion wherein you can sharpen your weapon and also facilitate the improvement of your speech or future speech projects, I have 3. Number 1, I encourage you to use personal stories as the main sources of your RTB. Friends, fellow Toastmasters, in speech making, especially if you're working in an inspirational and persuasive speech, there is what we call an RTB or a reason to believe. One effective way to evoke RTB or reason to believe are our personal stories. We applaud the wisdom, we applaud the knowledge that Toastmaster Christine shared to us tonight, but in order for us to believe her story is personal stories, in order for us to see how wisdom is lived in your own experience, not just the person, but also the speaker. Second, I encourage you to be intentional with your content. When you mentioned about the 3 interesting facts about the tongue, I waited in your speech wherein you will review and recall and use that part in the follow-through of your message. However, I missed the part wherein I told myself, yeah, it made sense that she mentioned the 3 interesting facts about the tongue. So again, be intentional with your content next time. Last one is eye movement, and this is nitpicking some sort, especially that we are using online platform. The moment you turn to your copy of your speech, we also followed your eye. So at some point, it became a distraction. So I advise you to be mindful with your eye movement. Again, Toastmaster Christine, you encourage us to use our powerful weapon, which is the tongue, and be mindful with our messages. And so you did that by, again, showing effective signposting, using effective hand gestures, and be intentional with your humor. Next time, I encourage you to sharpen on 3 areas: personal stories, content and intention, and also eye movement. In summation, I'd like to congratulate you for the speech delivery, and I'm looking forward the next time you wield your most powerful weapon. Congratulations, Toastmaster Christine, and back to you, General Evaluator.
All right, thank you, Vice President Education Toastmaster Wesley, for his evaluation for Toastmaster Christine, our club secretary. Now, moving on to our last but not the least of our speakers this evening, let's all put our hands together to evaluate Toastmaster Rendon's return speech. Let's all put our hands together for Area Director Jun Pinile. Let's give him a round of applause. So Jun, take it away.
Thank you, President Miko. I lead, two simple words, but very powerful. And our speaker tonight, Toastmaster Rendon, used it very well. Toastmaster Rendon, I liked how you started with the word I, not only with the acronym that you used to signpost your speech, but also in the way that you introduced this speech. You started by talking about your own experience as a child, where your mother has already tagged you as the lideron. And that style of introducing a speech allowed the audience to warm up to you. And what does that mean? It means that we are now closely following your speech. We are now invested in what you have to say. So it's a good thing that you established that first on, that certain human element to the speech, because this leadership speech can sometimes get very technical. So I applaud you for doing that. Second thing that you excelled at was using the words lead to take us to a journey of your leadership style. When talking about leadership, it sometimes can get very technical, can sometimes get to a point where the audience will get lost. But using the words LEAD to guide us through your speech allowed me to follow your speech to the conclusion. Very well done. Now, Toastmaster Rendon, you may want to work on these two things. And I know that this meeting is probably recorded, so you can review the video of your speech. And I noticed during your speech that your gestures were limited to your elbows. And why do I say that? When you were talking, you were just using small movements, and it translates as quite minimal. Sometimes I don't see the emphasis when you are doing that. So maybe what you can try to do is just to extend your hands, expand the gestures, be very deliberate about it, so that when you emphasize a point and you use the appropriate gestures, it becomes very effective. Also, I noticed that you were looking at your notes. Sometimes it's good, but today it was quite a bit. I found it quite a bit, so that at certain moments of your speech, I lost the contact, the rapport that you had established in the beginning. So my challenge to you, Toastmaster Rendon, is to own your talking space, your stage. So you can do that by expanding, exaggerating perhaps your gestures, and then minimizing the reference to the notes. So that would mean memorizing parts or just practicing several times your speech, so that you can become very comfortable letting go of the notes and just looking at it from time to time. Otherwise, you fulfilled the objective of this speech, which is to talk about your leadership style. And I applaud you for leading this club and just showing what a leader you are. So continue on leading, and congratulations. Back to you, President Miko.
All right, thank you, Area Director Jun, and thank you for visiting us once again as a speech evaluator. Tonight, it's not the end yet for our evaluation portion. We still have to hear from our lieutenants this evening. The following evaluators have been listening to all of us who've been speakers throughout the entirety of the meeting. To start off with our lieutenant reports, let's all direct our attention online once again to Toastmaster Wesley for our grammarians report. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Club President Miko. Friends, fellow Toastmasters, allow me to share my grammarians report in 3 parts. Number 1, I'd like to share the germs in today's or tonight's meeting. Next, I'll be sharing a list of people or attendees who use our word of the night. And lastly, allow me to share the gems or inspirational lines which I was able to take note of during tonight's meeting. So on to our germs. Earlier in the meeting, I heard someone mispronounce lose. I think what that person meant was lost, meaning to say in the past tense. So lost. Also, I heard someone said, anyways, friends, fellow Toastmasters, our dictionaries and experts in language still don't recognize anyways as an acceptable word. It's still frowned upon. So I encourage everyone to use instead anyway, not anyways. Also, I heard someone mention or said, you're telling us, but in a past tense. So instead, I encourage to use when you told us. Again, when you told us. Next, pronunciation note, evaluate, evaluate, evaluate. All right. And lastly, be mindful of using the expression excelled at and excelled in. Friends, fellow Toastmasters, we use excelled at when we say excelled at doing something. For example, we excelled at public speaking. Excelled in means to say excelled in something. For example, excelled in leadership, excelled in communication. So again, excelled at doing something, excelled in something. The lone person who used our word of the night is, round of applause to Toastmaster Zaira Maghanoy at the end of her speech. Gems for tonight's meeting is I was able to take note of 4 gems or quotable quotes. Number 1 is from Toastmaster Anna when she said, life is full of redirection. Friends and fellow Toastmasters, this is a good reminder for us to be flexible and to open for changes in our life, because at the end of the day, according to Toastmaster Anna, life is full of redirections. Second, instead of trying to control time, why not value it? This is a good, by the way, use of language also. And this is a good reminder for us that indeed time is fleeting, ever more reason for us to cherish it and value the moments we shared with other people. Third, sword can hurt the flesh, but the tongue can wound the soul. This is a good reminder for us, and I believe this is a good point in our life wherein we need to reevaluate and weigh in which is more important, the sword, the material sword, or the more profound soul. Lastly, Toastmaster Rendon reminded us that whatever we do in life, it is always wise to go back to why. Why are we doing what we do? He said, I always go back to my why. So there you have it, friends and fellow Toastmasters, the germs, word of the night, and gems of tonight's meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wesley. And for our counter this evening, who was surprised earlier, let's all put our hands together for Toastmaster Zaira.
So, good evening, everyone. I am here in front of you taking the role of the counter. So, for the benefit of all, the counter is the one who take notes of the overused words or filler sounds used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. And most of the time, people use filler words subconsciously to fill the space or time while they prepare their main message. So now let's start. For the preliminaries, we have Van Woodrow Perpetua, Toastmaster Van Woodrow Perpetua, who had one filler word. We had Toastmaster Linda Michaelinario, who had one filler word. As for the educational portion, we have Toastmaster Zairami Maghanoy, who had one filler word. And we had Toastmaster Rendon Geraldizo, who had one filler word. And for the evaluation portion, we have Toastmaster Joan Maurice Rosas, who had one filler word, and Toastmaster John Pinili, who had one filler word. So that's all for the counter. I'll pass
Thank you, Toastmaster Zaira. The accounter and timers report are the most exciting reports because for whatever amount you have committed, you have an equivalent donation to make to the club. So for our accounter and our timer, please take a picture of your report and send it to Christine, our club secretary, and then we will bill you for your donations for the month. Very interesting. And to tell us our donators in terms of time, let's all put our hands together for our timer this evening, Toastmaster Kirsten. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. So, for the benefit of our guests, my role as a timer is to take note of the time, to make sure that we're on time, our speeches is on time, and that we started on time. However, for tonight, we started late at 7:21 p.m. Our preliminaries overall is on time, except for our prayer and Toastmasters promise. For for our educational portion, our heart soul connection, I forgot to press start, but my estimate.
my singing.
Yes, I was so distracted. I was enjoying myself, but my estimate it was between 5 minutes or 6. Then for our prepared speeches, Toastmaster Anna is on time. Toastmaster Zaira is on time. Toastmaster Christine is over time with 9 minutes and 17 seconds. Toastmaster Rendon is over time by 7 minutes and 36 seconds. For our speech evaluations, Toastmaster Joan is over time with 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Toastmaster Lindell Michael Enario is over time by 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Toastmaster Wesley is over time with 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Toastmaster Joan Pinili is on time with 3 minutes and 22 seconds. For grammarian's report, Toastmaster Wesley is over time with 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Toastmaster Zaira is on time and with 1 minute and 18 seconds, and me is on time with 2 minutes and 11 seconds. That's all for my report. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Right, thank you to our timer. And just a reminder for everyone, when you are the timer, there is a 30-second grace period for every part, except for the preliminaries. So if it's 3 minutes and 35, only 5 seconds is the overtime. All right, perfect. Before I pass back to our Toastmaster of the evening, allow me to give him an evaluation. Toastmaster John is my president. Or Toastmaster Randon was both our president when I came into Toastmaster, and Toastmaster John was my president who I served under as the Vice President Education. I think it's very beautiful to see the growth that you've had in Toastmasters, Toastmaster John, especially that you've become more and more comfortable in front to the point that now our heart souls connection is a serenade by you. So I think it's a really great thing to see how we grow in Toastmasters and how all of us evolve throughout our different stages of being a speaker. So I don't think there would be any point of improvement, Toastmaster John. I think though that there's a bit of clunkiness because we don't have a designated tech master when it comes to maybe it's a more of an evaluation for the club rather than for our TME, that the tech master should be really the one to do a lot of techniques. So points of improvement for us in the future. But once again, before I pass back to Toastmaster John. We have a 2-minute awarding period. So, allow me to grant our briefcase of awards tonight. We're going to award our best speaker and our best evaluator for tonight. And once again, for our best speaker and our evaluator, you have a choice between a fridge magnet brought to you by Toastmaster International or a keychain brought to you by Division C. So when your name is called, please come in front and choose one of your prizes. Our best speaker for this evening is by a 2-1 split, Toastmaster Rendon Heraldizo. Sir Rendon, which would you like?
Both.
Dili pwede. Sir,
Reserve that one for next week.
This one na lang.
sige. Are you have a different one? Okay.
Thank you.
Wait up, stay up there. I wait up. Yes, I don't know. Our evaluator, sige. Okay. Thank you, Sir Don. Our best evaluator this evening is Toastmaster Wesley Barcoma. Let's give Toastmaster Wesley a round of applause. I think the audio is still loading. It hasn't reached Toastmaster Wesley yet. So congratulations to Toastmaster Wesley. Please claim your prize when we see each other on site again. All right. So it's been my absolute pleasure being our general evaluator this evening. It's great to see new faces in our meeting, every meeting. We hope to be back in IT Park for our next meeting so that it's more convenient for the rest of the club to join our meeting. So, without further ado, let me give you back to our host for this evening, Toastmaster John. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, General Evaluator and President Toastmaster Miko. And thank you to our speakers and evaluators for tonight. But before I wrap up, I actually have some other notes here from Toastmaster Van. The 3 things or other people that made him smile today is Zaira, Aljane, and this is Sabrina. So kinsay wala na apel. Kinsay nakapiso kanila. So nakay utang nila sa wala ni mo gi-appeal dire. From Toastmaster Joan, impromptu meetup over good coffee. Ooh, so I think the next time we meet at a mall, Toastmaster Joan, let's have coffee because we actually surprisingly meet up at malls from time to time. Second is trying to dance with friends. Is this the one? Trying. Okay, trying to dance with friends and on the house appetizer of my brother. Wow. What is this appetizer? Is this like salad or something? Love it. All right, from Toastmaster Kirsten, the bomb. Joke, the LOML Tony. Love of my life. Miko, Char, sana all. So I think for Kirsten's time, it's very fast because she's in love. Parents and dogs. All right. Thank you for sharing, guys. And now I believe we are going to go to the business portion. I'm assigned with a guest feedback. So we would like to hear from our guests as well. How was your entire experience? And yeah, would you love to visit us once again? So let's have Jane first. So come up here, Jane. I would love to hear some thoughts from you. And she wrote here 3 things that made her happy or made her smile today is Dara, music, Tingin by Cup of Joe, and ice cream. Wow, love it. Sample ni siya ang Tingin by Cup of Joe. Come up here and maybe how was your entire experience in the meeting today? Are you a first-time visitor or a returning guest?
First time visitor.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. How was your experience?
Usually
Yeah, why not? Sige.
It's really nice to see how seeing other people who are passionate with speaking. I really aspire to be one of you someday, maybe. And hoping that this won't be the last time I'd be joining the meetings. I really enjoy seeing people and talking, and probably I'm also like taking notes about how to improve in myself as well. So it's really it's a fun experience all in all.
Thank you, James. We hope to see you next time. Next is Kathleen. She wrote approved tasks at work. Julia, the founder where I work, and memo box team. And she wrote for the fourth thing. Oh no! Are you okay? All right, sige, please help. Oh no. Okay, we will complain that one. We will complain. I hope you're okay there. Hope you're okay. All right. Yeah, don't sit there na. All right. Sige. So may we have Toastmaster Kat here in front. I hope you're okay there, Toastmaster Jane. All right. Let's give up. Let's give it up for Kathleen. All right. How was your experience tonight?
I'm scared.
Uh,
I have to find my balance.
I think I can share.
overall, it's very nice because of Jollibee.
Bida ang saya.
I actually like the whole speeches prepared because everything was like related to everything that I'm experiencing right now. Like for example, with Zai's time, I'm actually like having a hard time managing my time as a student and as an worker, as an intern guy. And also I'm kind of having like last week or this week ba? It was prelims, so that was so hard for me to manage, and I still have a lot of tasks to revise, so I'm happy. And also for leadership talk, I actually like read like a lot of leadership books, but the one you mentioned earlier was just kind of like enlightening for me. So yeah, this.
All right, thank you so much, Kathleen, for sharing that. And yes, it's normal that we always have that hectic schedule when it's prelims time, and we're all working and studying at the same time. So, but all the best to you, and thank you for spending some time despite your busy schedule to be with us tonight. Next, we have Sheen, my little sister, my score on our general botany exam, and myself. By giving compliments to myself, there were a few days just to make myself happy or something like that. Thank you. And how was your experience? Sheen?
Good evening, everyone. So
Good evening.
this is actually my first time here. I've been kidnapped by Toastmaster Van or Kuya Van. I'm more comfortable in calling him Kuya. So my experience was quite I was pretty amazed by the speakers or the Toastmasters who gave their speeches. Is I was especially to Toastmaster Rendon, because I've been planning to pursue leadership. I've been a leader since I was elementary, but there's some things that like I've stopped during junior high school because I've been I've been doubting myself as a leader. Then I continued during senior high, and then some things happened again. Then again I started doubting. So his speech was really I don't know if it's turning or inspirational for me, so to actually continue on leading. So yeah, overall the experience was really amazing, and I'm hoping to be able to attend another meeting. not by being kidnapped again. So yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sue, for sharing that. And yes, and thank you also, Toastmaster Randall, for sharing that inspiring, inspirational speech. You see, with just 5 to 7 minutes of your time or of just listening, your life can turn around, or at least your mind and your hopes and dreams in life could also take that positive turn. Last but not the least, Sabrina. MOA signing of TLA, prelims of Philippine history, and friends. So thank you for sharing these happy, smiling moments in your life. How was your experience, and would you love to visit us again?
Of course, I would love to visit Toastmasters again. Just a little bit of background. I have known Toastmaster way back last March, I think. That was kind of original. That's not original. I forgot the club contest. And then one of it was held on CIT, and it was really interesting because as someone who has having a hard time speaking like to spoke I mean to speak the kanang kung saan ko akong gi-think pa. And then it was really interesting because one of the participants there was the Toastmaster, and then she have shared to fellow delegates that were on that time what is Toastmasters, and for that it was kind of give me an interest to join us. I mean to join you today, especially I have a friend which is Zaira and Van that is our Toastmasters. And also it was very interesting, listening to the speeches.
To my singing.
Speeches today, and also to your singing. And I'm really hoping to, to come back again. And yeah.
See you next week. Yes, we hope to see you once again, Sabrina and the rest of your girl group there, or study group. And thank you, Toastmaster Van, for bringing the gang in. All right, that's for our guest feedback, and we'd also like to go online and give this opportunity to our fellow Toastmasters to promote their respective clubs as well. So we can start with AD June as a visiting Toastmasters. Also, please invite us and promote your respective clubs as well, and even clubs in your area if you'd like. Go ahead, Toastmaster
Right.
June.
Sure. So anyone who wants to visit, most of our clubs is in Lapu-Lapu City. So if you want the island vibe, and so I'm inviting you to join our meetings. For my home club, Meswa Toastmasters Club, we meet online once a month, and then in person once a month at the first and third Wednesdays. That's 7 p.m. So please join us if you have the time and if you want to visit Lapu-Lapu. Back to you, Toastmaster Jan.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster June, and balik-balik sa Queen City, and kami pod, bisita pod mi ninyo pohon. All right, I think that's a wrap for me, and allow me to, just encourage everyone to just keep on smiling, keep on sharing that smile, because that beautiful smile is always in style. Thank you, and I now pass the floor to our president, Toastmaster Miko, for the rest of the business portion.
Thank you, Past President John. Now we are in our announcements part of our meeting. Just as a general reminder, if you haven't settled your royal dues yet, please settle the royal dues with Miss Joan. We'd like to acknowledge Toastmaster Chappie, who's paid for 5 months in advance. So let's give a round of applause to Miss Chappie. And Miss Joy. Oh, okay. So until December. So congratulations to our pre-payers, our big contributors. We wouldn't be in our venues without you. Once again, our royal dues are 400 per month, and that's for the entirety of the year. The question about for purely online members, we've discussed it with the Exicom. For our members who are purely online, we're going to discount it to 300 instead of 400. So this is still for us to maintain the ability for us to have hybrid because it's still a bit difficult to hold it in hybrid. But we still want to give this opportunity for everyone, even for our members who would usually be on site but would have difficulty traveling to our on-site venue, especially with the Saturday evening traffic. So just a reminder for our Royal Juice and for our Royal Ers, please, for our counters and timers, please send the report to Christine, and then Christine will be the one to follow up along with Miss Joan and myself, or maybe just I'm going to remind myself because I usually have the most. Kaloy. Next, our club contest is upcoming. October 14th is going to be our impromptu categories. And then October 28th is going to be our prepared category. So evaluation and table topics are going to be on the 14th. International and humorous are going to be on the 28th. So we're still looking for a venue, but more importantly, we're still looking for participants. So for Van and myself, we've already committed to joining. I think it's all categories. Yeah, okay, you can't qualify. So it's gonna be an interesting year. In my opinion, in a perfect world, I would really love to see everyone join at least one speech contest. It's really a different experience, and there's literally nothing to lose because we're only here in our club. You don't need to represent the club yet. All you need is to represent yourself. Because for a lot of us who are contestants, for a lot of us who are ambitious or competitors, having that edge or having that drive, especially when it comes to contest season, is really something which really gets your blood running. And it's really a different experience, especially in Toastmasters. And I personally love it the most because that's the reason I stay in Toastmasters, even if I haven't won, especially in our club yet. So I really love speech contest season. Once again, it's gonna be both of our regular meetings in October, and we're still going to have additional meetings, but they're probably gonna be online in October. So, are there any other concerns from VP Ed, VP membership? Wes, are you? Wes, you
Yeah,
have
I'm
something?
good.
Okay.
Maybe just re-echo on the club contest to really encourage everyone to join, and also for our upcoming online meetings on the 30th and also on October 7th. There you go.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Wesley. So again, we're meeting every week. So next week, and then October 7, and then October 14, and then 28, and there might be one in between. We'd also like to give a round of applause to our membership committee for our first membership committee activity last week, where we had our community samyo, when we're talking about life, and we're also talking about aliens. So we look forward to meeting everyone in person, especially to us who are online. Maybe it's going to be more convenient for us when we are going to have this kind of community or team outing, when we're just having time to eat instead of meeting formally in a meeting. So we look forward to more of those activities from our membership committee. And again, if you don't have a committee yet, please let us know, and then we will put you into a committee of your choice. Okay, so without further ado, by the power vested in me as the president of Queen City Toastmasters Club, and by you, our members, I now declare this meeting adjourned. So we'd like to request everyone online to please turn on your camera. Thank you so much to Toastmaster June. And for everyone on site to please come in front for us to take a quick photo of. Maybe we can move the camera.
Sige, for us, maybe for us who are here online, we can take a quick photo up first while others on site are setting up the venue and the choreography and everything else. Sige, so let's have a quick photo up. All right, where is my
Huh? Ay, right. Yes, yes.
okay, so best smile in
Okay,
3,
go ahead, Wes.
2, 1. Maybe one more for those who are online. Okay, capturing in 3, 2, 1. Okay, there you go. We're good. Thank you, everyone. Sir June, sir, thank you so much for joining the meeting. Yay.
My pleasure. Great meeting. So I'm signing off. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, AD June. Bye-bye.
Bye.
TM Christine, congratulations. Woo, TM Anna. Woo.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Drive safe. Drive safe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Timer. Where's the timer?
So,
Yes, yes, what's up there? Timer.
0.5.
That's okay. Sorry, sir. Yeah, I found it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So 3 seconds eh. 1, 2. Ay, wait, hindi ko magsunod. Then, sorry.
3 seconds.
Luya po ni mo.
Kana, 10. Ay, nag-blink siya. Sige, one more. Kay burst siya, pag lihok-lihok na lang. Alright. Yay!